Hey everyone, Thought Steve here, checking out 461 Westside Boiler Invasion, checking out their amazing robot. They even have a little robot over here, which is the exact same and also functioning, which we'll get to a bit later. But checking out their amazing robot, their dual system intake, angled elevator, all that right here on Behind the Bumpers.
This video on First Updates Now is made possible by viewers like you and also the following sponsors. If your team is using SolidWorks, make sure you log into the 3D Experience platform to gain access to tutorials, collaborate with other users, and download the Charge Up Field and Kit Up parts. Go to solidworks.com/first and click on Log into 3D Experience platform to gain access. AnyMark is your one-stop shop for all your educational robotics needs. From mechanical, electrical, tools, and hardware, AnyMark has over 200 years of first-team experience and offers high-quality and affordable solutions for the robotics mobility and competition markets. Head on over to anymark.com to get started.
Milan, talk to us about your robot, your intake, your wrist. Tell us more about it.
Yeah, okay, so first of all, so we start with our intake. So let's pretend we're a cube or a cone. So first of all, like you can see there's these double set of rollers here. Well, these rollers are made out of a material that's like a silicone, sort of like water piping. And what it does is it's like slightly sticky. So it makes gripping on the game pieces really easy because they just kind of go right in with the rollers. And yeah, so the cones go right in there and the cubes can go in here. So the way the intake is designed just allows us to be able to pick up both types of game pieces quite quickly. And especially important is because of the way the rollers are placed in relation to each other, how they're basically vertical, that allows us to actually roll the intake across the ground, especially with the help of these Omni wheels, and we're able to pick up cones that are on their sides, and we're able to do it really fast. So that just helps a lot during gameplay. Yeah, so once a game piece is in the intake, it needs to be able to be scored. So to do that, we actually have the intake attached onto a wrist, onto a cascade elevator. So from there, so once the game piece is actually in there, we can lift the elevator.
Welcome back from lunch, everyone. I hope you're feeling great.
So now that the elevator is up, now the game piece has now been raised, but it still needs to be scored. So then the wrist can turn and bring the intake forward closer to the nodes. And from there, the game pieces can just be dropped down onto the scoring to be scored.
You have these Omni wheels on the side. What purpose do they have exactly?
Yeah, okay, so that's, you know how I mentioned that we're able to pick up cones off the ground?
Right.
Yeah, those Omni wheels actually really help with that. Because something we realize is because we need the intake really low to the ground, there's kind of a worry that it might if it gets too low, it might drag across the ground and damage it. So we realized something that would just make driving across the ground to pick up pieces a lot easier is these wheels, because then when we can just roll it across the ground and there's no worry of damaging it. So that was something we did to just make that a whole lot easier,
right,
and just more foolproof.
So can we see your floor intake then? I know we're on the card, but let's just see the floor intake, how it works.
Yeah, okay, so to do that, we bring the elevator up slightly and the wrist down. So say this is the cone, if it goes in that, yeah, and then it can just go, so it just goes right in, even though it's on its side. Yeah, and then it can be shot out. I would not recommend shooting it though, so yeah.
And then now, going into your wrist, let's talk about your elevator as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, your stages, it seems like it's just a tube elevator?
Yeah, it's a tube elevator. It's a two-stage cascade, and actually the way we've made it actually makes it so we're able to know exactly where it is at any given time using PID values. Because at the very bottom we have a magnet and a sensor, so we know when the elevator's at the bottom, and from there we can see the difference from the bottom to the current level, so we know where it is, and from there we're able to make our presets. Yeah.
Now jumping right into presets, perfect transition into Moses. Talk to me about your presets, your system. I also see a couple of sensors on your intake. Talk to me about that as well.
Yeah, so we have several beam brakes on the front of our intake here, and you can kind of see they will change depending on which is triggered. So this is our cone beam brake, and actually if I trigger this, you can see the rollers will run, and this is a passive intake. So when you're running around on the field and hitting things, the pieces tend to get loose and then fall out.
Right.
So depending on which one you want, for example, if you could run the cube intake, And then that's good. And then I do this, then it will passively intake the cube. And that just makes sure that we have a good hold of game pieces throughout the match and don't drop them until we want to.
Really nice. And then talk to me about your presets as well, and if we can also see your presets come out as well.
Right. So we have several presets. We have, the big one is the cone high. So this is essentially full extension. You have the wrist all the way out, the elevator all the way up. This is really the go-to one for presets. It's nice to have, just one button that you can press. We also have the manual override. So if the post is a little bit higher or a little bit lower, you can manually tune it to make sure that it will be right on the post every time.
Really nice elevator and presets too. Pretty smooth as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I also want to ask you, since I spoke to you a little bit before, tell me about this minibot real quick.
Yeah. So
it's just an exact clone. Is it a junior bot?
So this is the minibot. The minibot actually was finished before the regular robot. Once we had all the CAD finalized, one of our mentors puts a minibot together every year. And it has evolved with the regular robot. So as our intake has changed and we've done a few things with the elevator, like this used to be a belt, now it's a chain. The minibot will stay the same as the regular bot throughout any hardware changes.
Really unique, and I love to see a great way to even show to other teams if your robot's not even here, probably in practice field and stuff like that. Now I want to hand it off to you, Ian. Ian, you're the driver for this robot. Tell me how smooth and how really successful y'all have been. You guys have 2 winner banners, also Impact Award. Congratulations on that.
Thanks.
Talk to me about your driving experience so far.
So the driving experience is actually really smooth. We transitioned to Swerve this year from a tank and all of our previous robots. And so the added mobility from that, with especially the rotation and being able to drive at the same time, has been really useful for maneuvering around the field. Like if we get stuck between a robot, we can just spin away from them instead of having to try to redraw our path. And overall, it's just been really fast as well.
Really great to hear. Well, 461, thank you for taking the time to walk us through your robot. Love your robot, great system, and again, thank you for taking the time to walk through us. Good luck on the rest of the event, and have fun.
Thanks.
Thank you.
This video on First Updates Now is made possible by viewers like you and also the following sponsors. If your team is using SolidWorks, make sure you log into the 3D Experience platform to gain access to tutorials, collaborate with other users, and download the Charge Up field and kit up parts. Go to solidworks.com/first and click on Log into 3D Experience platform to gain access. AnyMark is your one-stop shop for all your educational robotics needs. From mechanical, electrical, tools, and hardware, AnyMark has over 200 years of first-team experience and offers high-quality and affordable solutions for the robotics mobility and competition markets. Head on over to anymark.com to get started. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to stay up to date on our new videos. Keep the conversation going and provide your input to our content. Watch our live shows at twitch.tv/firstupdatesnow. Join our Discord at discord.gg/firstupdatesnow and check out Fun FTC on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and First Updates Now on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter.